Welcome, everybody. Thrilled to see everybody once again, and thank you for signing on with this another crazy experiment where we'll put these out there and we'll see what the reaction is. But I really believe strongly that all of the great work that's been happening in these sessions over the years uh, deserves a larger audience, and I hope that not only people that just enjoy these plays can get something out of these sessions in terms of understanding them deeper or a deeper appreciation, but people who want to work on this material, whether they're aspiring to work on this material or even if they're professionals but just haven't looked at this play yet or want to direct it or want to act in it, that this can give them some ideas and some sense of, well, how do I even approach this? So thank you all for being here. And yes, for anyone watching, I'm Nathan Agan. I'm the host and producer here of the Working Actors Journey, and we're here in the rehearsal room to work on some Shakespeare and Stoppard this month. So wonderful to dive into this collection of material. And I just want to do a couple things real quick at the top. I think it's always great to do just some quick introductions. This group, I think maybe everybody's worked with just about everybody else or almost everybody else in some capacity, but it'd be good to just, for the viewers at home, to kind of orient maybe where people are or where you find yourself at this moment. If you're working on something or you're particularly excited about a project right now, that would be fun to hear. And how you'll be involved over the next month, because I know we have some fluid casting. And I will say very quickly, if you're enjoying what you're seeing, you can support this project through Patreon. There'll be a link below. And I just want to give a shout out quickly to our some of our patrons: Joan, Michelle, Christian, Jim, Magdalene, Ivar, Claudia, Cliff, and Jeff. They are all at the co-star level or higher, trying to make everything fun. So you can go over there and see what might make sense in terms of throwing a few shekels our way to keep the administrative lights on. And as this grows, we can do more. So that's my little pitch for that. But let's get to the team here. That's why you're all here and why we're all assembled. And so if we can do just a quick round, I'll turn it over to Geoffrey, our director, and then we can go from there. And then it'll be your rehearsal. So Geoffrey, you'll be first.
Great. My name is Geoffrey Wade. I'm the director of this. I've done several of these before. I'm in a Sonesta Suites in Tempe, Arizona at the moment. I'm in a play called True West. We're in our last week production here. So there'll be a little coming and going. My wife has just arrived with the dog. So,
and she's also in the play, which is wonderful that you guys get to work together.
Yes, we're working together. It's a great and unusual and fun thing to do.
And you couldn't get the dog apart?
Pardon?
You couldn't get the dog apart?
Listen, we thought of it for a while. The director was almost there, but no. Little too much going on. I've done, for people who haven't seen this, this is maybe 4 or 5 of these I've done with a wonderful variety of people. I know Marcelo and Nick and Daniel from different places, different amounts of time, and different ways we met. Daniel and I met actually through the Working Actors Journey scenes. So all of that is great. I've worked a number of times with Gideon. I think he's a fantastic dramaturg. And what else? I love Hamlet. I got to play it once when I was in college, and it was a great experience. Oddly, I can remember lines from that better than I can remember lines from the show I'm doing 8 times a week occasionally. And I'll get into, as we actually start to rehearse, you'll hear more about how I feel about the play. I also love Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead. I think it's a great modern classic. And I think I've said about enough. Gideon, why don't you introduce yourself, and then we'll start on the actors.
Okay. I've been teaching Shakespeare all my adult life. That's close to 50 years almost. And when I retired from full-time teaching, I started writing books. So I've published 3 books on Shakespeare, an edition of Hamlet, a book called Appreciating Shakespeare, and a little book called what did I call it? Shakespeare's rhetorical, what is it called? Thank you. I knew there was a word I was losing.
Well,
You're not going to sell many copies unless you can remember the title.
Shakespeare's rhetorical figures and outline. It's for Shakespeare nerds. I'm working on 2 more now, which one is a collection of my talks and reviews, and another is a little book on paradox. And I'm publishing them myself because the publishing industry has gone, I don't know where, but not where I need it to be. So, and that's enough. I've done a lot of these working actors journey rehearsal rooms, and it's wonderfully fun for me because I love being able to spend the time on the text. And I think that's the key to doing Shakespeare well. So.
Fantastic. Marcelo, how about you?
Hey, everybody. I'm happy to be here. This is also 4th or 5th time. I think I was in on the ground level when you first started, Nathan, right? And it's always such a pleasure to do this. I always like to do Shakespeare because it scares me. Things that scare me are good for me, for my growth and everything. I've known Geoffrey for a long time. We're members of the Antaeus Theater Company together. Nick, I don't think we've worked together, Nick, but we've certainly known each other. And Gideon has been there on many of the projects I've worked with too. It's been really, really nice. I've just come off a really interesting, they call it salon readings of Jewish stories that are compiled. There's a theme. The one I worked on was immigrants, and people submit their stories to this organization called the Braid, and then the stories are looked at and they're gone through, and there's a show that's put together, and we did 14 shows, the last 2 up in Northern California, and just interesting, wonderful process of beautiful stories of immigration. And being myself an immigrant, my family and myself, and also Jewish, they were just very, very lovely, great writing. So that is nice. And then working a bunch of voiceover stuff and stuff that I normally do to make a living on camera and stuff. And happy to delve into this.
Great, wonderful. Daniel, you're next on my screen. How about you, sir?
Hi, guys. I'm Dan Cordova. I worked with Geoffrey and Gideon and Nate a couple of years ago during the pandemic, I believe. And I think we did some of Richard III. And so that was exciting and fun. And I've been wanting to get back to it, and I just haven't had the time, and the connections weren't right. But this season, it seems to be. I am a lifelong Shakespeare nerd, of a degree in drama, and did a lot of acting in my 20s, 30s, and I'm kind of past that and haven't been doing a lot of acting, but I've been a big student of Shakespeare, well, theater in general, but especially Shakespeare. And I love this play, always finding new things in this play, and unfolding the text. And the last couple of weeks of looking at this text and seeing all kinds of new wrinkles and stuff. So that's exciting. I just do as much scene study and watching Shakespeare and reading things like Gideon's nerd books and stuff like that. But I just find it fascinating. And I think I've maybe seen more Hamlets than I care to count on both fingers and toes and everything that I have. So this will be fun to play with. I recently was in, I was living in Orange County in Costa Mesa, and about 2 months ago, my wife and I moved to Redlands, California. So we are here now, and I was kind of surprised to find that they actually have a fair amount of community theater. or kind of a smaller professional theater in the area. So I'm kind of looking forward to some summer things that are coming up here. So
Excellent.
that's it for
Wonderful.
me.
Great. And Nick, over to you.
Hi, guys. I have been a Los Angeles actor since I was about 10 years old. I am a member of the NTS company. I auditioned for Geoffrey Wade for many years ago. I think it was like 2003 when I auditioned for you for that. I was very nervous. It's really nice to work with all of you. I know of all of you. I am not sure that we've worked together, Jeff, or we've all of us have sort of been in the same room from time to time. But
Yeah.
I'm very honored to be a part of this, and I really think this is especially a great idea. The exploration of Hamlet with Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Really excited about that. I live in Hawaii. I moved from Los Angeles out here about 4 years ago, and it's a blustery spring day over here. So if you see me like dabbing myself a little bit, it's because it's really hot right now.
Dude,
But,
it's 112 here today.
Oh, wow. There you go. Okay, so you win.
It's a dry,
You
it's a
win
dry
for
heat.
sure.
It's a dry heat.
Yeah, right. Anyway, thank you guys so much, and I'm very excited to be a part of this.
Wonderful, wonderful. And yeah, so for people who are new to these sessions, one of the things I love and what you'll see is that this is, just like being a fly on the wall for a rehearsal. That it's very raw and unfiltered. And the word casual can kind of pop up as like the opposite of unpolished, but as you'll see, everybody takes this very seriously and they're really invested in trying to figure it out. So it's relaxed but not casual, if that makes sense. And that's what I always try to remind everybody that this is just it's an exploration, it's an experiment, and so luckily it's been something that I don't have to put too much energy into. That people just kind of know what to do and have a great time. And so with that, I'll be listening in. I'll check back in at the end. But really excited for you guys to explore these plays. So that's it. I'll see you at the other end.
Great.
Thank you. All right. Well, this is great. I'm very excited. I think the best way to, now that we're all introduced and everything, to get started is to have Gideon sort of set the scene for us. Let us know, in general where Hamlet comes in Shakespeare's oeuvre, I guess is what you'd say, and his life.
I'll be right back. I can hear you, Bill.
Okay, good. Give us, everybody here clearly has experience with this world and with this writer. So, and we don't have to do the, incredibly detailed, but to help all of us remember where we are, what century we're in, where Shakespeare was, perhaps what he was dealing with, where this play comes in the chronology of his plays, and then set us up, as roughly as possible, or not as roughly as without going into the whole story, set us up where we are with this first Rosencrantz and Guildenstern scene, the one that's in this incredibly long scene in Act 2. Just so we're all kind of, standing on the same place. So I'm going to stop talking and let Gideon take over for a while. And I'm listening too, but I'm going to go off camera for a bit.
Okay, I won't talk too long. The play comes in the high period of Shakespeare's career. It's just after 1600, 1602, 1603, 4. Queen Elizabeth is almost dead, and James King, during the time he's probably writing this, Shakespeare was inspired by, in this play particularly, by the Spanish tragedy of Kid, which was a revenge play based partly on Seneca, in which some ghosts come back from the dead and challenge somebody to deal with the fact that there was a murder in the court. And it was a very popular play. And so Shakespeare thought to himself, I'm inventing this part. You think that's dramatic. I'm going to blow you away with what I'm going to do, because Spanish tragedy and the other earlier revenge plays were set in a classical background. The ghost came from Hades, and the classical gods were the background, and the aristocratic revenge tradition was at the top of people's minds in this play. Shakespeare says, no, I'm going to put this play in a Christian context and have a ghost come and ask him to revenge, and then deal with the difficulties of that challenge. So that's, by the time we get to this first scene we're doing, Hamlet has seen the ghost. The ghost has challenged him, saying he's been killed. It's the ghost of Hamlet's father. He's been killed by Claudius, the present king, the former king's brother. And Hamlet wants to sweep to his revenge, but then he stops and thinks, which is good characteristic of him, that he'd better be sure the ghost is not from hell, rather than giving him a true challenge. So he needs to test the ghost. And one of the ways he's going to do it is by spending time in the court pretending to be mad, so that people won't suspect that he's on to them. And he can figure out a way to know the truth and whether he is obligated to revenge or not. The ghost has told Hamlet, revenge my murder, but don't taint your mind, which is the paradox that Hamlet faces. How can you, since Christians don't believe in revenge, how can you take revenge without tainting your mind? Well, if the instruction comes from God, then you can, maybe. If the instruction comes from the devil, no. So that's the situation he's in. He's taken on two forms of madness, to pretend to be mad to the king and the court. The first form has already happened. He's pretended, because Polonius told Ophelia to reject him, he's pretended that he's gone mad for love, which was a classic stage cause of madness. Unrequited love can drive you mad. And so he's pretended to be mad for love, and Polonius jumps to the conclusion that Hamlet wants him to jump to. In this scene, in this part of the scene, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern come in. They've already been hired by the king to be spies on Hamlet, to figure out what's going on with him, because he suddenly seemed to have gone mad. And Hamlet performs a different kind of madness to Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, equally cliche, which is madness for thwarted ambition. So the theme of his mad lines, or performed mad lines to Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, is something usually to do with ambition. And the theme of his lines to Polonius usually have something to do with thwarted love. These two friends are school friends of Hamlet's, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, from earlier time. He is a bosom buddy of Horatio, with whom he's been at what we would call graduate school. But he went to grammar school with Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. And the king and queen think, well, they'll figure out what's going on with him. So in the scene we're going to see, they're each trying to figure each other out. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are spies trying to figure out what's going on with Hamlet. And Hamlet is pretending to be mad for ambition and trying to figure out whether Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, or where their loyalties lie and what's going on with them. I'll just maybe say something about the second scene we're going to do, so we can go right to it when we want to. Hamlet's test for the ghost is to put on a play in which what the ghost told him about how he was killed is performed. And it's to test Claudius the king to see whether he responds as a guilty person or not. And he responds as a guilty person. And he runs out screaming light. And then Rosencrantz and Guildenstern come in, to bring messages to Hamlet. And they're trying still to suss him out and figure out what's going on. And now Hamlet is elated because he knows the ghost was telling the truth. He is now going to kill the king, he thinks, and he's going to speak to his mother first, because that's what they're there to tell him. She's calling you to her, so he's got to talk to her. He's furious with the king. He doesn't have now any love for the spies, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, and he's furious with his mother. So he's hyped up and pretending to be mad for ambition. So those are the two interplays with Rosencrantz and Guildenstern that we're going to be watching unfold. And I think that's probably enough, if not too much.
No, it's not too much. I'm just going to add my little filigree onto that. The thing I find, one thing I found from this book I've been talking about, it's What Happens in Hamlet by John Dover Wilson. It somehow, I'm not sure he ever states this explicitly, but it's pretty clear that Hamlet, although he is certainly playing at madness, he's playing at sort of clinical madness. Hamlet is an excitable person. He on numerous occasions kind of loses his way. He gets overly excited. He gets overly angry. He gets all those things. His emotions run away with him a little bit in a way that even he recognizes a number of times. Yeah. He says explicitly, not that he's playing. You know, he says to his mother, "Don't tell him that I'm playing at being mad. Don't do that. Don't let him think that this is madness. It's not." But there are other times, his apology to Laertes, and a couple of other times, he says, "That wasn't me." And again, for actors and scholars who like to have things often explicit, these are actually everyday things. We all participate in these kind of emotions all the time. You do it in your car probably every day. I certainly do. Someone cuts you off or does something a little wrong, and you become another person. It's fun as actors because we can sort of, in the safety of our cars, we can touch on that kind of rage that we often have to bring to the characters. Hamlet, in this incredible person, that character that Shakespeare created, that's endlessly fascinating to us. Much of what is so fascinating are these paradoxes. He surely, absolutely, is pretending to be insane, but there are times when he is outside himself in a way.
Can I just filigree a little bit?
Sure, more filigree.
There's a pattern according to which Hamlet flies into passions. That's how I would put what you're saying.
Yes.
Of different kinds. It's always evoked by something in the external world. It's never simply random. Right. There's always something he's responding to. And in the first half of the play, he every time he flies into a passion, he ends by becoming reasonable again.
Yes.
His reason reasserts itself. And in the crisis of the play, his reason goes wrong. And that's when he has his moral fall. But at the end of the play, he still is flying into passions. His personality is not altered by the experience of the play. What is altered is his relation to reality. And we can get into that later because we're not going to really be dealing with it in our scenes. But the point I want to make is that when Hamlet's in a passion, it's because of something that's happened outside that causes it, number one. Number two, he can be in a passion and playing at madness, or be in a passion and not playing at madness. And number three, in the first half of the play, the passion is always finally controlled by his rational faculty. And it's when his rational faculty succumbs to his bad will at the climax of the play in Act 3, Scene 3, that the tragedy happens, that things go wrong. So I don't want you to think of Hamlet as irrationally flying into passion. He flies into passions when someone cuts him off.
Right, exactly. That's the difference between, sort of clinical madness and losing or flying into a passion. Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. They are. The only other thing I want to add, and I'm not disagreeing, I'm just adding on for the help of the actors, that the lovelorn thing and the thwarted ambition thing are, again, they're based on real things.
Yes.
He has not gone mad for love. He's not so thwarted ambition has not made him mad. But the political side of this play, which I think is sort of too often, the problem is it makes it very long. But the political side is really where the play there's two things. There's his mother. That's an early moral dilemma, a moral problem for him. And before he knows that his father's been murdered, the fact that he has been skipped over for office, for becoming king, that's the other big looming thing. So it's a real thing. He really should be king. And I love that, Gideon, you started off with setting us in the time when Elizabeth is dead or nearly dead, and James. So the idea of the importance of succession in the eyes of any of these playgoers, from the groundlings to the lords, it's like it's an election year to the nth degree. These are really, really important things. We all know about the Elizabethans' love of order and things being the way they should be, and this is a time of extreme political uncertainty after quite a long period of sort of benign, a wonderful time, a golden age. So I think for the initial playgoer, that political question of wait, his father died and he's, of age, why isn't he the king? That's something that would be very forward, I think, in that early audience. So
can I just add that that's not simple, because Shakespeare on purpose sets it in Denmark, which is an elective monarchy. So the next monarch has to come from the royal family, but he's elected by the electors. And it's obvious, given their characters, that they should have elected Hamlet, not Claudius. But given his experience and age, they decided to elect Claudius. So Hamlet is faced with a problem that's subtler than just, I should be king, slam dunk, right?
Yeah.
It's complicated by the realities of the situation.
Absolutely. Well, so that's an awful lot to chew on. I don't want to just keep talking. So why don't we start with this first scene? And I'm just gonna cast it from the way, because I really do want everyone to have a go at sort of all these characters, particularly obviously the Hamlet character, who's got a couple of really, he's got a lot of great stuff and a couple of really great sort of standalone speeches. They're not soliloquies, but they're wonderful, wonderful pieces. So Marcelo, let's have you start as Hamlet in this one, and Dan do Guildenstern, and Nick Rosencrantz, and we'll start that way. And I'm going to mix it up, but if I mix it up wrong or something, just let me know. Don't be shy about stepping in to tell me I've cast somebody twice or something. I just have to find my Because I'm traveling, I didn't have things printed up the way I really should have, so I have to look at the screen here. Okay.
Usually I screen, but I printed. So.
Yeah, I like the printed stuff, especially when we're early on here.
Yep.
And let's just leave Polonius out of this completely. So we'll start with Rosencrantz. God save you, sir. And let's just see how you guys feel. Just have a read through. I'm not going to talk anymore.
God save you, sir. Oh, my most dear lord.
My excellent good friends, how does that, Guildenstern? Rosencrantz. Good lads. How do you both?
Daniel, you're muted. Daniel, you're muted.
Thank you. Unmute. I'm unmuted. Thank you.
As the indifferent children of the earth.
Happy that we are not over happy. On Fortune's cap, we are not the very button.
Nor the soles of her shoes.
Neither, my lord.
Then you live about her waist or in the middle of her favors?
Faith, her privates we.
In the secret parts of fortune. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Nick. In the secret parts of fortune? Oh, most true. She is a strumpet. What news?
None, my lord, but that the world's grown honest.
Then doomsday is near, but your news is not true. Let me question more particular. What have you, my good friends, deserved at the hands of fortune that she sends you to prison hither?
Prison, my lord.
Denmark's a prison.
Then is the world one?
A goodly one, in which there are many confines, wards, and dungeons, Denmark being one of the worst.
We think not so, my lord.
Well, then, 'tis none to you, for there is nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. To me, it is a prison.
Why, then your ambition makes it one. 'Tis too narrow for your mind.
Oh God, I could be bounded in a nutshell and count myself a king of infinite space, were it not that I have bad dreams.
Which dreams indeed are ambition, for the very substance of the ambitious is merely the shadow of a dream.
A dream itself is but a shadow.
Truly. And I hold ambition of so airy and light a quality that it is but a shadow's shadow.
Then our beggars' bodies, and our monarchs and outstretched heroes the beggars' shadows. Shall we to the court? For by my faith I cannot reason.
We'll wait upon
you.
No such matter. I will not sort you with the rest of my servants, for to speak to you like an honest man, I am most dreadfully attended. But in the beaten way of friendship, what make you at Elsinore?
To visit you, my lord, no other occasion.
Beggar that I am even poor in thanks. But I thank you. And sure, dear friends, my thanks are too dear a happen. Were you not sent for? Is it your own inclining? Is it a free visitation? Come, deal justly with me. Come, nay, speak.
What should we say, my lord?
Anything but to the purpose. You were sent for, and there is a kind of confession in your looks, which your modesties have not craft enough to color. I know the good king and queen have sent for you.
To what end, my lord?
That you must teach me. But let me conjure you by the rights of our fellowship, by the constancy of our youth, by the obligation of our ever-preserved love, and by what more dear, a better proposer can charge you withal. Be even and direct with me whether you were sent for or no.
Let's see.
Nay then, I have an eye of you. Oh, nay then, I have an eye of you. If you love me, hold not off.
My lord, we were sent for.
I will tell you why. So shall my anticipation prevent your discovery, and your secrecy to the king and queen mold no feather. I have of late but wherefore I know not, lost all my mirth, foregone all customs of exercises, and indeed it goes so heavily with my disposition that this goodly frame, the earth, seems to me like a sterile promontory. This most excellent canopy, the air, look you, this brave o'erhanging firmament, this majestical roof, fretted with golden fire, why, it appeareth nothing to me but a foul and pestilent congregation of vapors. What a piece of work is man! How noble in reason, how infinite in faculties, in form and moving, how express and admirable. I'm going to do that little piece again. What a piece of work is man! How noble in reason, how infinite in faculties, in form and moving, how express and admirable. In action, like an angel. In apprehension, how like a god. The beauty of the world, the paragon of animals. And yet to me, what is this quintessence of dust? Man delights not me. No, nor women neither, though by your smiling, you seem to say so.
My lord, there was no such stuff in my thoughts.
Why did you laugh then when I said, man delights not me?
To think, my lord, if ye delight not in man, what Lenten entertainment the players shall receive from you. We quoted them on the way, and they are hither are they coming to offer you service.
I hear good. Tell me what you guys think. I'm gonna stop putting thoughts in your head until I have some opinions. Marcelo, what do you think is going on with Hamlet here?
Well, he's testing. He knows what's going on with these guys. He knows why they're here. He's testing the waters with them to see how they're going to respond to him. I love the fact that he can't really tell them apart. Not that he can't tell them apart. He just is not sure. There's a little bit of that. There's just something there. Yes,
I think that's the running joke in the play with these two, right?
Yeah.
Well, here's my opinion on that. I think it's clearly a running joke in Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are Dead, and it's very clearly a joke in when they first come to court in that scene with
Claudius and Gertrude.
Claudius and Gertrude. Yeah, I would. Here's what I think. Just to make this work as a scene, now we're just thinking pure scene. I think it's slightly more interesting if the appearance of Rosencrantz and Guildenstern for these first few lines, and we can decide where it changes. He doesn't know why they're there. It's that old acting thing of don't know something until you know it, right? It helps us sort of navigate the scene a little better. So
I agree. I agree, man.
I'm going to suggest that the first greeting and salutation is 100% true and genuine, and as genuine as it would be for Horatio. I mean, he may have been a better friend, but these are friends. They're good friends. And I think the better, again, as a sort of acting thing, I think the better friends they are, the moment you see them, the more the betrayal, then you have a much longer way to go to get to the betrayal. Because by the end of the flute scene, which is, I don't know, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but that's the last time you see them together. We sort of have to believe you're happily going to send them off to their death because they made love to their assignment. So if we start with something genuine and real and friendly, in the course of this scene, that then allows you to have a test, which I think starts as soon as they say, the world's grown honest. It's like, the fuck did you just say?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. and then you may start to play with them. But and then we'll see how you want to proceed. But I really, that's something I really feel, and I think it'll make it more.
I think that gives you somewhere to go, and you don't jump at the conclusions right away. I think you're absolutely right. Just
good.
Absolutely.
Can I complicate it a little?
Okay.
I think you're right, but I also think that Hamlet is already in the mode of playing madness to the court, and these friends come in surprising to him that they're there at all.
Mm-hmm.
And he's trying to suss out whether they are somebody to whom he needs to play madness or somebody that he can bring onto his side the way he does Horatio. So I think that's another dimension of the question of the arc that we can move through in the scene.
Yep.
Now, can I ask a question of our illustrious dramaturg?
Yeah,
absolutely.
What is it specifically that Claudius asked them to do?
Find out what has troubled and
why is he so moody? Right? Why is he so moody? Why is he in such a bad humor?
Yeah. So I think that's a great question. That's kind of what was on my mind. Is these two guys coming in aren't necessarily nefarious. They might be holding something close to their vest about who asked them to be there, but they didn't come to, sabotage Hamlet
or to kill him.
They think they're doing the right thing because the king asked them to do this thing, and here's our old friend, and we're going to try to find out. But I don't think that they think, obviously, that they're doing anything, evil in any way.
It's more they asked to spy on him, essentially. Right?
They just they're just supposed to report back to the king whatever their conversations are, trying to find out. And, to them, that's relatively innocent, right? They're still there. He's still their old friend, right?
Well, yeah. But, I'm looking to see where this kind of little transitional thing happens. And it's around 290, where Hamlet says, he's just talking about being, how terrible his servants are. And then he asks them, well, why are you guys here? And then that's when they stick this lie, which at that point, Hamlet says, were you not sent for? He knows. At this point, he knows they were sent for. And now he starts the test there, the real testing. Is it a free visitation? Come, tell me the truth. He's giving them a chance to say, hey, this is happening.
Yeah. 100%. As in a number of other places, he sort of gives them a chance and then he goes further. I think that, I talking about this, as genuine as possible greeting. I think they're schoolboyish talk about, fortunes of strumpet and, you guys are hanging around their pubes and all that. I think that can be quite genuine. I think there's a turn. And again, it's not verse, but when Shakespeare uses a but or a yet or one of those changing words, he says, then is doomsday near, but your news is not true. Let me question you more in particular. I think at that point he's beginning.
What's the line number?
That's about 257, I think.
Yeah. Yes, I got it.
When he says, so what's new? What's going on? Why are you here? And he said, no, nothing. The world's grown honest. Okay. Now that would only be happen, before, what is it? There's probably a Christian reference there. But then he says, but come on, that's not true. So why are you really here? And then I think he sort of serves them up one of our, semi-madness softballs with the thing about being in prison. He's sort of testing them to see what in the interview with Claudius Claudius's concern probably is somewhat political. And Gertrude says, oh, I think it's probably just that his dad died and we got married so quick. I think that's what's bothering him. I think that's all that it is, which would be sort of, the lover or the lover's the sort of emotional thing. Claudius has more high stakes political things going on.
Can I just say something about the questioning of why are you here?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's interesting that in Act 1 scene, in the scene with Horatio, he almost asks him the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, how come you're in Elsinore? And he says, oh, well, I came to see your father's funeral. He says, no, I think you were here to see my mother's marriage.
And
Right.
Horatio gets it. Horatio gets that.
Right. Well, see, here's the thing. The follow-up to that is that he finds out in that scene that Horatio is really there in the cause of old Hamlet, of the ghost. And in this scene, he finds out that Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are there in the cause of or in support of Claudius. So I think those two scenes are really, parallel to each other.
Absolutely.
He asks them why they're there, and then he finds out, well, which side are you on?
Right. Very good. Yeah.
Also, I think the fact that he starts with this ambition idea sends you to prison hither, and then they say, and your ambition makes it one, and then he launches on the whole ambition theme.
Yeah.
That's different from Horatio. Horatio reveals himself not to be there for the sake of any ambition. And ambition, by the way, is a negative thing in Shakespeare's terminology. Emulation and ambition are, you shouldn't want to be higher in the hierarchy than your proper place.
And I'm assuming that they're referring to his getting skipped over for the kingship, right?
Yeah.
They're implying it. They're not saying it outright. Yes.
I'm not sure. I'm just thinking here. Let's see. Dreams. I mean, and also at the very beginning, he's telling them, filling them in a little bit about him having bad dreams. He's having these, bad dreams, visions, things with the murder of his father. Meaning, I'm sure that the ghost, reference to the ghost, right?
To us, it means the ghost, not to them.
No.
To them, it's a perfect lie. There's no such thing as Hamlet's bad dreams. He's dealing with, actual realities.
Yeah. And it's also, he's leading. He's actually kind of leading them on. He's the one who suggests that that's the problem.
Well, that's the real cat and mouse of it, right? That's what.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it's like how he's sort of testing how far are you going to go with this.
Yeah.
He's the cat and they're the mice.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. No question. He's bump, batting them, pulling them by the tail, letting them run, coming back. Yeah.
And I think it gets to the point where he, with this beggars are, then are our beggars, but don't miss out that there's two different words there. Then are our beggars' bodies and our monarchs and outstretched heroes, the beggars' shadows. I think even he at that point goes, okay, this is getting ridiculous.
Can I say something about that kind of exchange? There's a tradition of courtly battle of wits. It's normal. You're in court. Osric plays this game. Much Ado, we have examples of it where you're just batting words and phrases back and forth. And they are doing that. And when Hamlet says, I cannot reason, let's go to the court. It's that he doesn't want to engage in this with them. He's got more important things on his mind. So this kind of verbal logical play he's turning against it.
I've always found it very hard to say our.
Yes.
Well, it's especially hard in American English. Our is a diphthong, and R is, just R.
The solution is to slow down.
Slow it down. Yes,
Yes.
as always, the solution is to slow it down and visualize it.
Yes.
But just, if you're aware, the other, there's a little. By the way, you can all thank me for giving you absolutely no verse in any of the stuff we're doing. It's kind of fun. This thing, we'll wait upon you, no such matter.
What line are you on, Geoffrey? Just give
Oh,
me-
again, this is 286, and they say we'll wait upon you. You've said let's go to the court because I can't. I can't do this banter anymore. They say we'll wait upon you, and anybody correct me if I'm wrong, but when he says no such matter, I think he's saying, oh no, you don't have to be my servant. I'm not going to treat you like a servant. You're my friends.
I'm not going to treat you like a servant because I'm dreadfully attended, which isn't true, but
Yeah.
it's the ambition theme. It feeds them this idea of him being ambitious.
That's right.
Mm.
And it keeps them, it's also, I'm going to keep my enemies. I think he knows what's going on. So he's actually not going to push you away. He's going to sort of bind you. Hamlet's going to sort of bind the boys to him. He can sort of use them now to send them back with, information that will, keep him safe while he's trying to determine what Claudius has actually done.
Right. They're going to confirm his madness or his strangeness. And I just want to say, beaten way of friendship, they're not used to coming to visit Hamlet. He's not used to seeing them. It's been a long time since he's seen them. So he's aware that they've probably been sent for.
Yeah, certainly by here. So he's literally saying, so when they say we'll wait upon you, I think Hamlet's no such matter. The sense of it is no. You don't have to be a servant to me. We're friends. We're, that's our status level, right? And there was one other word. Oh, Hamlet, again, line 306. The question, Rosencrantz says, well, you say, I know the good king and queen have sent for you. Rosencrantz says, well, why would they do that? And your answer is, that you must teach me. You must teach me that thing.
Yes, I totally, yes, that you must teach.
Yeah.
I think there's another way too, and you can make a choice. You can hit those two pronouns. That you must teach me. I'm not going to teach you why they sent for you. You need to tell me why they sent for you.
Yeah, I like that. Yes, because that makes it clear that you must teach me.
Good. As long as we know that refers to the reason.
The answer to the question.
What am I looking at? You must teach me. No, I think it comes right
Sure.
smoothly into it.
I'm just gonna make one more suggestion and then let you have a go at it. These are all suggestions. This lovely speech, my anticipation shall prevent your discovery. I have of late, but wherefore I know not.
Line. This is
line 318.
Yeah.
1718.
Yes, it starts. Yeah, 316 in there. I will tell you why.
I think as you navigate this very interesting speech, I don't think it's necessarily all one thing. I think he may start off as one thing. About halfway through, where you get to that, what a piece of work is man.
Yes.
I think it starts, sort of almost performative for them, and then I think it gets quite, what's the word I want? Introverted or introspective is the word I'm looking for. Quite introspective. so that he sort of snapped out of it when he happens to look over and see which one of it is it? Rosencrantz smirking, perhaps at the joke, perhaps at the player thing. Who knows?
And it's the classic melancholy. It's a speech
Yes.
of, by the end of it, it's a speech of melancholy. And that
Yes.
it does really have melancholy, but not because he's got a melancholy disease, but because of what's happening in the world and what he's having to deal with.
Yes. So let's try this one more time.
Can I make a couple questions? I want to ask you a question, Geoffrey.
Okay.
At line 333, Folger has women, which is from the
Yes, I was going to ask you about that. I've
It's-
never heard that.
Yeah, it's woman in the folio, and in my edition I made it woman, so it parallels man.
Yes, I actually hadn't picked up on. Thank you. I was going to ask you about that, and I forgot to. Let's change it to no nor woman neither.
Yeah,
because it
good.
doesn't. All of a sudden, it becomes It should be mankind versus womankind, not.
So where, Preston, is there?
It's line 333. You say, "Man delights not me, no, nor woman neither."
Oh, man delights not me, nor woman, right?
Yes.
No, nor woman neither.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Can I give a couple more little notes that I took as we were reading?
Sure, but just give me 1 second.
Okay,
I think "man delights not me." You can do this as you want. For me, there's a full stop there. There's a big transition. He has to snap himself out of it, I think. So if you want, give yourself the moment to finish the speech there. And actually let
Delight's not me, right?
"Man delights not me, period."
Yeah.
I am, and we can get the correct definition of an Elizabethan melancholy from Gideon, but I think you come back to them. It's a chance to. That's the reason there's a no there. You're sort of addressing the boys again, whereas
He's been in this kind of
he's been in his own head from.
poetic.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, Gideon, go.
okay, just a few things. I'll work backwards from where we are. Line 327, peace. What a piece of work is a man.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean like she's quite a piece of work. It means peace as in masterpiece. Right? The culminating masterpiece of God's creation is man. Then line 324, this excellent canopy overhanging from a majestical roof fretted with golden fire. So above the stage in the globe where this was being performed was a fretted roof, and it was painted as the heavens with blue and stars and sun and moon and so on. So there's this double quality that it's literally, that's what it looks like. It's a fretted ceiling above him, but he's using it as a metaphor for the heavens. Okay, 328. No, 388, 288, sorry, 288. What is that? Oh, I think you hit a pronoun.
Yeah,
I'll catch it if you do.
I will not sort you with the rest of my service, but to speak to you like an honest man. I am most readily attended.
Line 268, I can give a 20-minute lecture, but I'm not going to. But when he says, there's nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so, this is not modern existentialist moral relativism. This is an old idea that's been, I can give you lots of quotations from other writers of the time. What they mean is that we experience things based on how the mind takes them in. That doesn't mean good is bad and bad is good, depending on what you think. It means that if you think something bad is good, then to you, it is good, but it isn't really. You've become bad in thinking it. So just be aware that Hamlet's not an absolute relativist, if I can put it like that. And the last thing is, we sort of talked about it. Fortune, she sends you to prison hither. You hit hither, and I want you to hit prison, because the key theme is prison there. It's not that they come here that's important, it's that he's posing the suggestion that it's a prison.
Correct.
Okay, that's it.
Thank you.
Let's just take another run at it, and then we will move on,
Perfect.
because we got many more hours for this stuff. So just take one more run at it.
God save you, sir.
We're muted, man. We're muted.
I think you're muted, Dan.
Yeah, I know. I just
Oh, sorry.
my computer seems to be slow on unmuting there. Okay.
Okay,
No
here we
worries.
Again.
Let's go back. I'll start again.
Yeah.
God save you, sir.
My honored lord.
My most dear lord.
My excellent good friends. How dost thou, Guildenstern? Rosencrantz, good lads. How do you both?
As the indifferent children of the earth.
Happy in that we are not over happy. On fortune's cap, we are not the very button.
Nor the very soles of her shoe.
Neither, my lord.
Then you live about her waist, or in the middle of her favors.
Faith, her privates we.
In the secret parts of fortune? Oh, most true. She is a strumpet. What news?
None, my lord, but that the world's grown honest.
Then is doomsday near. But your news is not true. Let me question more in particular. What have you, my good friends, deserved at the hands of fortune that she sends you to prison hither?
Prison, my lord.
Denmark's a prison.
Then is the world one.
Goodly one, in which there are many confines, wards, and dungeons. Denmark being one of the worst.
We think not so, my lord.
Why then, 'tis none to you. Well, there's nothing either. Why then, 'tis none to you. Well, there's nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. To me, it is a prison.
Why, then your ambition makes it one. 'Tis too narrow for your mind.
Oh God, I could be bounded in a nutshell and count myself a king of infinite space, were it not that I have bad dreams.
Which dreams indeed are ambition, for the very substance of the ambitious is merely the shadow of a dream.
Dream itself is but a shadow.
Truly. And I hold ambition of so airy and light a quality that it is but a shadow's shadow.
Then our beggars' bodies and our monarchs and outstretched hero the beggars' shadows. Shall we to the court? Or by my fay I cannot reason.
We'll wait upon you.
And no such matter. I will not sort you with the rest of my servants, for to speak to you like an honest man, I am most dreadfully attended. But in the beaten way of friendship, what makes you at Elsinore?
To visit you, my lord, no other occasion.
Beggar that I am, I'm even poor in thanks. But I thank you. And sure, dear friends, my thanks are too dear halfpenny. Were you not sent for? Is it your own inclining? Is it a free visitation? Come, deal justly with me. Come. Nay, speak.
What should we say, my lord?
Anything but to the purpose. You were sent for, and there's a kind of confession in your looks which your modesties have not crafted enough to color. I know the good king and queen sent for you.
To what end, my lord?
That you must teach me. But let me conjure you by the rights of our fellowship, by the constancy of our youth, by the obligation of our ever-preserved love, and by what more, dear, a better, and by what more, dear, a better, oh my gosh, wait a second, ever-preserved love.
Hang on. And by what more dear means by what
Yes.
more valuable thing, a better person, okay?
By the obligation of our ever-preserved love, and by what more dear, a better proposer can charge you withal. But be even and direct with me whether you were sent for or no?
What say you?
Nay, I have an eye on you. If you love me, hold not off.
My lord, we were sent for.
I will tell you why. So shall my anticipation prevent your discovery, and your secrecy to the king and queen moult no feather. I have of late, but wherefore I know not, lost all my mirth, foregone all custom of exercises, and indeed it goes so heavy with my disposition that this goodly frame, the earth, seems to me a sterile promontory. This most excellent canopy, the air. Look you, this brave o'erhanging firmament, this majestical roof, fretted with golden fire, why, it appeareth nothing to me but a foul and pestilent congregation of vapors. What a piece of work is man! How noble in reason, how infinite in faculties, in form and moving, how infinite in faculties, in form and moving, how express and admirable. In action, how like an angel. In apprehension, how like a god. The beauty of the world, paragon of animals. And yet to me, what is this quintessence of dust? Man delights not me. Nor women neither, though by your smiling, you seem to say so.
My lord, there was no such stuff in my thoughts.
Why did you laugh then when I said, man delights not me?
To think, my lord, if you delight not in man, what Lenten entertainment the players shall receive from you. We coted them on the way, and hither are they coming to offer you service.
Good, good. I just want to say one thing, and Gideon, you can correct or expand on this. The beginning of this, I will tell you why. So shall my anticipation prevent your discovery speech.
I'm sorry, Geoffrey.
I'm sorry, 318-ish, 318.
Yes.
These symptoms he describes, I believe, are the sort of classic symptoms of melancholy as
Correct.
a sort of illness, right? So what he's giving them is, I'm not saying it's not true, because I'm sure he clearly has lost his mirth. I mean, the very first time we see him, and his exercise and all this stuff, but these are the classic symptoms of melancholy. So he's kind of telling them what they want to hear. I mean, he's giving them a report. Here's what you can report back to the king and queen. You know, I feel a little sick to the stomach. I'm dizzy sometimes. Oh, that's classic. He's got vertigo or whatever, right? So you're giving them what they want in a way. It's like, whoa. No, let's not ask any more questions. I know what you want. Here it is. And he lists them off like on the back of an aspirin bottle, practically, for people of this time.
Yeah.
The next bit is him. That's what a piece of work. We are so good. Human beings are amazing.
Yeah.
Everything around me, I've got a deceitful king, my mother's a whore, something's wrong, I have to do this. The whole, the time's out of joint, right? This is him now. We should, it's like when you hear a good news report, or you hear we built, humans have built the biggest nuclear accelerator in the world. You think, my God, we can do amazing things. Why is everything so fucked up? That's the eternal argument.
Yeah.
But that seems to me, and again, this is a way to sort of navigate your way through this speech, so it's not all one thing. That's where he clicks over into himself. in a way, right?
And he clicks over into telling universal truths because it's this classic, and he sums it up in that phrase, quintessence of dust. I was going to say something about that. There are four essences: earth, air, fire, and water. Aristotle identified a quintessence, which is the invisible spiritual element. And so man is this combination of spirit and body. And so quintessence is this higher thing and dust is the lower. And it's a miracle of combination that man has been created this way. And then what is it to be? So what?
Yeah. So so there you go.
Good stuff.
With that speech, I'm particularly reminded of it for some reason. I don't know why. I guess Siri is listening to me. A video of Richard Burton doing this speech came up, and he appears to be just sitting in an easy chair somewhere. It's not a performance, but it's he has a lovely voice, but it's a really pretty boring read, if you ask me. If you ask me, because it's all the same color and the same pace, and there's no discovery in the middle of it. I think these, as always, as well known as actors, what's fun is to watch, see, hear a character discover something. I mean, they may know it, but all of a sudden they're saying it. It's like, it's like when walking around and you suddenly go, oh, I see, I get it. I mean, we sometimes say it out loud, don't we? Oh, now I understand. And I think that happens in this speech. It starts off as a formula. It starts off as part of this cat and mouse game. It's let's not play anymore. I'm going to tell you what you want to hear. Take it back to the king, and everything will be fine. And by the way, what has happened to now all of a sudden? What's happened to friendship? What's happened to people? What's right?
Yeah, no, all those little hints are really good. In attacking this. As I work on it, or as we work on it together here. I love the idea of those different those changes, and finding those as I work on it on my own.
Good.
Can I do a couple little?
Sure, a couple more. And then, good.
Okay, so 257. So you hit near, and I think you should hit doomsday. The world's grown honest. Well, then it's doomsday, because that's not going to happen before doomsday.
Doomsday near. Yeah.
282. You didn't hit the hour. Marcelo, do you see that? 282.
I find it here.
I'm looking here.
Tough one.
Then are our beggars' bodies? Then are our bodies? Yes.
Yeah,
Just mean.
You rushed over it, and so we lost it.
I did an effort to try to make it look good, but
Our hour.
295. Halfpenny is pronounced halfpenny.
halfpenny. Yeah.
Yep.
308.
What was the number? What's the number on halfpenny?
295.
295.
Halfpenny.
Halfpenny.
What's that?
It's almost two syllables. Halfpenny.
You
can make it three syllables, short syllables, so the audience gets what we mean. But halfpenny is going to make people who know it laugh. Okay.
Halfpenny.
Halfpenny. Yes. Good. 308. Don't hit the ED on ever preserved because it's not verse. You don't need to.
Okay. I was feeling so Shakespearean.
I know. Let's see. 306. What did I mean? Oh, there's a kind of over-the-top Osric-like talk that Hamlet's engaged in here. When he says, let me conjure you by the rights of our fellowship, by the consummacy of our youth, by the obligation of our ever-preserved love. He's listing the cliches by which you appeal to a friend. So he's just, in a way, going over the top to sell to them his, requesting them to tell him the truth. And then when they say, what say you, should we tell him? That's when he says, okay, now I've nailed you. Now I got you. Now I don't trust you. So you can play with, trying to butter them up with these big phrases. You get what I mean?
Yes, I do.
Okay, line 310. The word withal is always a throwaway at the end of the line. We would never say withal, we would say with. So the same way we'd say proposer can charge you with, we would say proposer can charge you withal. Instead of ever hitting withal. It comes at the end of the line, but it doesn't take a stress.
Gideon?
Sorry?
The number?
The number of that is 310, line 310.
Proposer and can change you with all.
Yeah, just charge you with all.
Charge you with all.
Yeah, hit the charge. And the last thing is line 335.
Hang on just a second.
Okay. This is Rosencrantz.
Oh, then go ahead.
You hit, Nick, you hit my, and that's not it.
My lord.
You want to hit stuff and thoughts.
Oh,
I see. Not my lord, my thoughts.
Oh, I see. I was like, there is no such stuff. Okay, great. Thank you.
And what line was that?
That was line 335.
And say that note again.
I said that he hit the my. There was no such stuff in my thoughts, but that's not the point. In general, as you all know, my refrain is don't hit the pronouns unless there's a really good reason to.
Right.
You all know this. I know you.
Yeah, but we forget. Gideon.
Well, it's not that you forget. It's that in the passion of the moment, reading it, you're not sure where you are. So I'm calling your attention. That's my job.
If he says there's no such stuff in my thoughts, it sounds like he's saying, yeah, but Guildenstern's thinking it.
Yeah, or you, or Hamlet.
That was my point. I mean, maybe him, but
okay, that's it for me for now.
Let's since we're let's go to the next ones, and certainly this next scene with the three of you, which is Act 3, Scene 3, I believe.
Scene 2.
Again, Scene 2, yeah. Around line 322. Let's just keep the casting the same for now. Gideon's already said it once, but this is and you don't feel that you have to perform this from the get-go, but in your mind you should know that Hamlet is high as a kite. He's resolved his question. He's caught the conscience of the king in the play, and he sort of knows what he has to do now. He's now free to act, and he is incredibly excited. He's in a passion. The two young men, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. We all get to be young in this, by the way. We're all young men now. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are under actually quite a good deal of pressure here. There's nothing funny about this. I mean, the king and the queen of Denmark, which is a powerful country, the king and queen of anywhere, but they are, they are too excited for different reasons, and out of sorts. The entire court is in a tizzy. This is a very fraught scene, so there's nothing casual about it. And just as an example, to me, someone who has it says here. I mean, it gets quite intense. Rosencrantz says, "My lord, you once did love me," right? Love in the sense of, we were. Why are you being this way? And another point, he says, "You do surely bar the door upon your own liberty if you deny your griefs to your friend." In other words, tell me what's going on. or you're going to end up in prison, right? Or something literally something bad is going to happen. Everybody knows what the score is now. Claudius knows that Hamlet knows. He wasn't sure before. Hamlet knows now what he has to do. The entire action of the play is taking a turn here. We're not testing each other anymore. And, Rosencrantz, these guys have picked up on this. They're somehow in the middle of it. And it's, as Hamlet will say later, it's dangerous to come between these
pass and fell in senses, mighty opposites.
Mighty opposites. They're coming. It's like they're standing in the middle of a sword fight all of a sudden, and they know it. They're not stupid. So they are really, and this is just me as an actor. They are really trying to save themselves, but they are also trying, I think, to save Hamlet as best they can. Which gives them an action to act on him, rather than just self-preservation. If you can think of this as not just, oh God, I'm fucked if I don't do this. It's, I like this guy. He's in some kind of trouble. I can tell, he seems mentally unhappy. Maybe I can save him. So I think if you fold that into your acting, into your approach to the scene, you're caught between two people, but you know Hamlet. He was your friend. So the betrayal to him that's taking place in this scene is complete. That's the other thing. I think by the end of the scene, he's furious.
Can I just add that Hamlet has in mind, he's already confirmed with Horatio that they have the same impression about Claudius's reaction to the play.
Yes.
In other words, he's coming to them after Horatio says, yes, you're right. What you told me about the ghost is true. Right.
So there is anyway, very high stakes scene. I'm not asking you to, and there's always stakes in the scene. The scene before has some stakes in it, but this is big time. I'm not asking you to do that now. Just bear it in mind as you go along, right? So let's have a go. Guildenstern and Rosencrantz, you've just been sent to do this. You guys are in charge at the moment. So let's have a go at it.
I was going to say this really quickly.
Sure.
It's really interesting that the first half is Guildenstern and Hamlet, and the second half is Rosencrantz and Hamlet.
Yes, it is. That's an interesting observation. Let's see what happens with that.
Yeah.
I haven't examined that carefully, so good.
Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Good, my lord, vouchsafe me a word with you.
Or a whole history.
The king, sir.
Aye, sir. What of him?
Is in his retirement marvelous distempered.
With drink, sir?
No, my lord, with choler.
Your wisdom should show itself more richer to signify this to the doctor, or for me to put him to his purgation would perhaps plunge him into more choler.
Good, my lord, put your discourse into some frame and start not so wildly from my affair.
I am tame, sir. Pronounce.
The queen, your mother, in most great affection of spirit, hath sent me to you.
You are welcome.
Nay, good my lord, this courtesy is not of the right breed. If it shall please you to make me a wholesome answer, I will do your mother's commandment. If not, your pardon and my return shall be the end of my business.
Sir, I cannot.
What, my lord?
Make you a wholesome answer. Make you a wholesome answer. My wit's diseased. But, sir, such an answer as I can make, you shall command. Or rather, as you say, my mother. No. Make you a wholesome. Can you ask me that question again?
What, my lord?
Make you a wholesome answer. My wit's diseased. But, sir, such an answer as I can make, you shall command. Or rather, as you say, my mother. Therefore, no more but to the matter. My mother, you say.
Then thus she says your behavior hath struck her into amazement and admiration.
Oh, wonderful son that can so astonish a mother. But is there no sequel at the heels of this mother's admiration? In part.
She desires to speak with you in her closet ere you go to bed.
We shall obey. We shall obey were she 10 times our mother. Have you any further trade with us?
My lord, you once did love me.
And do still by these pickers and stealers.
Good my lord, what is your cause of distemper? You do surely bar the door upon your own liberty if you deny your griefs to your friend.
Sir, I lack advancement.
How can that be, when you have the voice of the king himself for your succession in Denmark?
Aye, sir, but while the grass grows, the proverb is something musty. Oh, the recorders. Let me see one. To withdraw with you. Why do you go about to recover the wind? To withdraw with you. Why do you go about to recover the wind of me as if you would drive me into a toil?
Oh, my lord, if my duty be too bold, my love is too unmannerly.
I do not well understand that. Will you play upon this pipe?
My lord, I cannot.
I pray you.
Believe me, I cannot.
I do beseech you.
I know no touch of it, my lord.
It is easy as lying. Govern these ventages with your fingers and thumb, give it breath with your mouth, and it will discourse most eloquent music. Look you, these are the stops.
But these I cannot command to any utterance of harmony. I have not the skill.
Look you now, how unworthy a thing you make of me. You would play upon me. You would seem to know my stops. You would pluck out the heart of my mystery. You would sound me from my lowest note to the top of my compass. And there is much music, excellent voice in this little organ, yet cannot you make it speak. Splud, do you think I'm easier to be played on than a pipe? Call me what instrument you will, though you can fret me. Call me what instrument you will, though you can fret me. You cannot play upon me.
Nice. What do you guys think? You talk. I don't want to talk first all the time. Any observations, feelings, thoughts?
Well, always this first time through is getting those words out in your mouth.
Yeah.
The responses and stuff. It's you realize, oh, I made a mistake. That was a mistake. That
we'll give you another go at it. Was there anything that sort of leapt out to you in spite of?
Just trying not to censor myself as I'm going through it. And there's just some things some clarity as we went through it, kind of where we were, and sometimes it's 2 beats behind. But but it is because the question in my mind too is, so you were saying he's already hot, but it's tempered kind of, and then it explodes.
Yeah, I think what you spoke about, Geoffrey, right before we did it, kind of resonated when we read through it for me, in that they're actually trying to give him an out, trying to help him save himself, and he's kind of rude to them, and it throws them off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's a perfectly good way to play it. I think all three of you are pretty fucking angry by the end of it. I think when I did this, I know I saw Nicol. I haven't seen a lot of Hamlets, but I think I saw Nicol Williamson's on film, and he actually broke the recorder across Guildenstern's chest. I think he hit him. I think he hit him with it, or I can't remember if he broke it. But I remember when I did it, I hit the guy so hard that I did break the recorder once. I think it's a we get these flashes of his there's violence. There's violence in all of us, but again, that's what makes him so human. There are these flashes of violence, and I think it's pretty close to it here. I think that whole recorder speech is, it's way up there. It's the top of his range.
I would only add, do it in the words. Don't break the recorder.
Yes, of course. You can't do that. I mean, it's different between a movie and a play. But this is kind of on the level of the fight. People argue about this, whether it's in or next to Ophelia's grave. But when he's kind of screaming at Laertes, what do you want me to do? Drink poison, eat a crocodile? It's pretty out there.
Yes.
And I think. Again, as you said, Dan, Guildenstern and Rosencrantz are feeling the pressure from above, certainly. So they need to get this done. And I think again, in an actorly way, and you can take this or not, Marcelo, he is high, and I think that's making him think very quickly indeed. The way we can sometimes when we're, in a bit of a passion. So he may not be shouting him at the beginning, but I think he's very, very quick with them. And it's, again, we have these lovely, embedded stage directions. He says, "Vouchsafe me a word with you, sir, a whole history of the king, sir. Aye, sir, what of him?" I mean, you can't even let him get a sentence out, It's that kind of thing. Doesn't mean he's shouting at them yet, but I think
it's adrenaline.
Yeah, there's a controlled fury, passion, whatever. He's released. He's been held down now for 3 acts, and it's like a boil has been lanced or something. I just have a couple of things I want to say. Oh, again, a lovely embedded stage direction. Start not so wildly. Who says that? Guildenstern?
Yeah, like 335.
Yeah. Good mother, put some frame and start not so wildly for my affair. So Hamlet is verbally, and I would think, in an actor's way, he's all over the place. And Guildenstern goes, "Whoa, settle down, right?"
I'm okay.
Yeah. That's a lovely embedded stage direction. Nick, where you say, "What, my lord?" and I think you got it right when you did it the second time.
I know the first time was wrong.
Yeah,
I know.
Cool.
I know.
Here's an interesting thing, and this is a question for you, Gideon. "I will obey were she 10 times my mother." When I think I haven't really realized this, but I would, if she were 10 times my mother, if he's saying I would obey even if she weren't my mother, it's the way it should be. But 10 times his mother, when with the thing he thinks of his mother as at the moment, which is just step above a whore. It's even if she were 10 times worse than she is, I would go to her. Is that what he's actually saying?
Yes. I mean, there's a joke in it, which is the thing is absurd. You can't be more than his mother once.
Yeah.
And he's making it arithmetical when it's moral. But yes, the implication.
Oh, that's it. That's, of course, that's why I've always been confused all these years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's making a kind of joke to them in a courtly, rational, irrational way. It's the kind of joke that he makes when he calls Claudius my mother.
Yes.
Right? It's that kind of absurdity to punctuate what he's saying.
This thing, the musty saying, "the grass grows," and this is again something I've stolen from somebody, but take it as you will.
As the grass grows,
yes. Rosencrantz says the king himself has said you have the succession, and Hamlet says, "Aye, sir, but while the grass grows," the proverb is something musty. I think can be read as a sort of veiled threat, right?
It's veiled ambition.
Veiled ambition.
I'm sitting here not being king while the grass is growing. Well, the saying is, while the grass grows, the steed starves.
Right.
Grass is growing over there, but the horse can't get to it because he's fenced in.
So he's saying, yeah, the grass, but there might be a little implied, I should do something about it. Maybe. I don't know.
Well, he's implying to them that it is a threat, that he's implying to them that he's frustrated with not having his ambition.
Yeah. And one last thing, 394. Marcelo, and you'd probably get this when you do it again. Your line, why look, is 394. Why look you how unworthy a thing you make of me. You would play upon me. That this is a place where you do want to hit the pronoun
Twice, but not 3 times.
You're comparing yourself to the recorder, to the flute.
Yeah, how unworthy a thing you make of me. You would play upon me.
You would play upon me.
Like
You've
a
seen my
recorder.
stops.
Like a recorder.
You play on me like I was a fucking instrument, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But you don't carry that over to the mystery, to my mystery. There you want to hit mystery.
Yes.
I want to talk about that in a second.
You would.
Good. Those are the only little things I had, but you do talk about the heart of my mystery. I think it's a fascinating phrase in the middle of the play.
Yes. So the problem with this word is it means 2 things and comes from 2 sources. One of the sources, which is the primary one here, and we lose it, is ministerium. Ministerium means service. And it means basically your job or your profession or what you're up to, what you do. And that's what Hamlet means at the basic level. You want to know what I'm up to. I'm not telling you what I'm up to. And there's a pun, of course, on this second meaning, which comes from mysterium, which comes from the ancient word for the servant of a god in a divine right. So we get all our words about mystery from that. So Shakespeare means the pun, but he doesn't mean it the way people take it. He doesn't mean that the whole story of Hamlet is about Hamlet being mysterious. What he means at the literal level is you want to know what I'm up to, and you're not. You don't. So I just think you have to have ministerium in mind rather than mysterium. Okay, we go backwards now. 377. Recover the wind of me as if you would drive me into a toil.
Yeah.
It's an image from hunting. If you get on the windward side of the animal, he can smell you and run away. So you're trying to get onto the downwind side of the animal so he can't smell you. Drive into a toil means into a trap or a net.
Again, another sort of stage direction too.
Yeah. 364, pickers and stealers. He means his hands, because in the catechism, I'll read you the line. The list of duties to one's neighbor after the 10 Commandments is to keep my hands from picking and stealing.
Oh, I never knew that.
Yeah. So
like the 11th commandment?
Well, it comes after them. There are others too.
Yeah.
But the point is that when he says by these pickers and stealers, he's implying the oath by this hand, which is a way of swearing, but he's calling them pickers and stealers because there's an implication about at a subterranean level about ambition, but more directly about Rosencrantz and Guildenstern trying to steal knowledge or information from Hamlet. I love you by these pickers and stealers, which are immoral. All humans fallen and tending to pick and steal. And then the last one is line 334.
Oh, purgation?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or perhaps plunge him into more color. So there's a double layer here going on. The doctor would purge him of the humors that he's suffering from too much drinking. That's at one level. And if I were his doctor, I might purge him, put him into more choler, meaning kill him and send him to hell. Although he's not saying that, but we get it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it.
Good. Let's, I think we're going to have just time to do this. We're going to go through this, and then we're going to do the Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. So I'm going to go through this without comment at the end, and then we'll go to the Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. We should just get it done. Make sure everybody's unmuted and.
Good my lord, vouchsafe me a word with you.
Sir, a whole story.
The king, sir,
Hi, sir, what of him?
in his retirement, marvelous distempered.
With drink, sir?
No, my lord, with choler.
Your wisdom should show itself more richer to signify this to the doctor. For me to put him to his purgation would perhaps plunge him into more choler.
Good my lord, put your discourse into some frame, and start not so wildly from my affair.
I am tame, sir. Pronounce.
The queen, your mother, in most great affliction of spirit, hath sent me to you.
You are welcome.
Nay, good my lord, this courtesy is not of the right breed. If it shall please you to make me a wholesome answer, I will do your mother's commandment. If not, your pardon and my return shall be the end of my business.
Sir, I cannot
What, my lord?
make you a wholesome answer. My wit's diseased. But, sir, such an answer as I can make, you shall command. Or rather, as you say, my mother. Rather, as you say, should make that again. Make you a wholesome answer. My wit's diseased. But, sir, such an answer as I can make, you shall command. Or rather, as you say, my mother. Therefore, no more, but to the matter. My mother, you say.
Then thus she says your behavior has struck her into amazement and admiration.
Oh, wonderful son that can so astonish a mother. But is there no sequel at the heels of this mother's admiration?
She desires to speak with you in her closet ere you go to bed.
We shall obey. Were she 10 times our mother? Have you any further trade with us?
My lord, you once did love me.
I do still, by these pickers and stealers.
Good my lord, what is your cause of distemper? You do surely bar the door upon your own liberty if you deny your griefs to your friend.
Sir, I lack advancement.
How can that be when you have the voice of the king himself for your succession in Denmark?
Aye, sir, but while the grass grows, that proverb is something musty. Oh, the recorders. Let me see one. To withdraw with you, why do you go about to recover the wind? To withdraw with you, why do you go about to recover the wind of me as if you would drive me into a toil?
Oh, my lord, if my duty be too bold, my love is too unmannerly.
I do not well understand that. Will you play upon this pipe?
My lord, I cannot.
I pray you.
Believe me, I cannot.
I do beseech you.
I know no touch of it, my lord.
It is as easy as lying. Govern these ventages with your fingers and thumb. Give it breath with your mouth, and it will discourse the most eloquent music. Look you, these are the stops.
But these I cannot command to any utterance of harmony. I have not the skill.
Why, look you now how unworthy a thing you make of me. You would play upon me. You would play upon me. You would seem to know my stops. You would pluck out the heart of my mystery. You would sound me from my lowest note to the top of my compass. And there is much music, excellent voice in this little organ, yet cannot you make it speak? Blood, do you think I am easier to be played on than a pipe? Call me what instrument you will, though you can fret me, you cannot play upon me.
Good. We're going to move on. I just have one note, general note. Cannot should usually
Cannot.
Cannot. The stress should go on the first syllable.
Cannot.
Cannot.
Yeah.
There might be a few exceptions, but none in this speech that I can see necessarily. So
I have to make one correction.
okay.
Drive me to a toil. The hunter wants to be on the upwind side, and the scent of him drives the animal into the net. I had it backwards before. I didn't want people to go off with the wrong idea.
Yeah, you want to be downwind.
You want to be upwind.
I mean,
and
upwind.
Upwind, and then your scent drives him forward into the net.
Into a trap.
Because, well, if you were actually hunting, without the trap, right?
Yeah.
You would want to be downwind so that the animal doesn't spill. You could sneak up on it.
Right, but
Yes.
this is the reverse of that because we're driving him into a trap. Sorry, I didn't mean to take time on that. Go on.
Okay, that's okay. Let's go to hang on. Let's go to Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead. Except I can't remember. Oh, what
What an amazing play also, right?
Hmm?
What an amazing play.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I love it. Act 2. Yeah, so it's if you guys have the script there that I sent, this is
Well, I have.
or if you have the actual one, it's the beginning of
Act 2.
Act 2.
Where do we actually start this scene? Do we start after Polonius?
Let's start after
Like after when Guildenstern says, yes?
yes.
Buzz, what?
Yeah. So this is Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, and this comes after that first scene that we did, of course, right?
Yes.
What page is this in the script, you guys?
43.
43. Thank you.
in the script, or if you're looking at the
Okay.
PDF, it's page 22.
I
Is
see.
there a PDF of this scene?
No, I sent the whole. It's the whole script.
Yeah, it's I can't work with that. So anyway, I have the real script here. I mean,
Okay.
not the script, but I mean just a
You're not in this scene anyway this time.
Yeah.
So let's just have a quick go at it. It's not terribly long. See what you guys think.
Which line are we starting at, Jeff?
Let's start with yes. What?
Oh.
I thought you.
What's the line number?
The,
I'm just kidding. Just kidding. It's about the middle of page 43, right?
Got it. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, that's funny. I got it.
No
Oh, there?
line.
Hmm.
Yes.
What?
I thought you.
No.
Ah.
I think we can say we made some headway.
You think so?
I think we can say that.
I think we could say he made us look ridiculous.
We played it close to the chest, of course.
Question and answer. Old ways are the best ways. He was scoring off us all down the line.
He caught us on the wrong foot once or twice, perhaps, but I thought we gained some ground.
He murdered us.
He might have had the edge.
27-3. And you think he might have had the edge? He murdered us.
What about our evasions?
Oh, our evasions were lovely. Were you sent for? He says, my lord, we were sent for. I didn't know where to put myself.
He had 6 rhetoricals.
It was the question and answer, all right? 27 questions he got out in 10 minutes and answered 7 questions. Oh, sorry, and answered 3. I was waiting for you to delve. When is he going to start delving, I asked myself.
And 2 repetitions.
Hardly a leading question between us.
We got his symptoms, didn't we?
Half of what he said meant something else, and the other half didn't mean anything at all.
Thwarted ambition, a sense of grievance. That's my diagnosis.
6 rhetorical and 2 repetition, leaving 19, of which we answered 15. And what do we get in return? He's depressed. Denmark's a prison, and he'd rather live in a nutshell some shadow play about the nature of ambition, which never got down to cases, and finally, one direct question, which might have led somewhere, and led, in fact, to his illuminating claim to tell a hawk from a handsaw.
When the wind is southerly.
And the weather clear.
And when it isn't, he can't.
He's at the mercy of the elements.
We can stop there. It's not much, but wait, hang on. Come on, how come I can't move this now?
I'm laughing out loud here, you guys.
It's great. I mean, it's funny because it's just the stuff we were talking about. I mean, he literally says, all we got was thwarted ambition and a sense of grievance, right? That's my diagnosis, which is exactly what Hamlet wanted him to get. By the way, I did count the questions, and there are 20. That's right. There are that many questions in that scene. Let me see if we can go back. Maybe we should start it. Let's start it here. And Marcelo, let's have you come in and help out.
Okay.
Just do this speech, which is on page 42 of Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are Dead. Gentlemen, you're welcome to Elsinore. That speech.
Yes.
And then Guildenstern's reply, and then Hamlet's reply, I am but mad northwest, and so I know a hawk from a handsaw. And then go from there to Guildenstern's, yes, what? I thought no, okay. So we're gonna cut out the
Polonius stuff.
Polonius and Hamlet stuff. So just take a nice pause there. I'm gonna have you go through it one more time. I know we're nearly out of time, but I wanna try it one more time.
Yeah.
And you two guys, make sure you take a chance to read the whole play if you haven't, so you can sort of get your relationship. But Guildenstern is defending what he thinks was a kind of good interrogation, and Rosencrantz is absolutely beside himself with he says, oh, our evasions were lovely. Were you sent for? He says, oh, my Lord, we were sent for. I didn't know where to put myself, right? That kind of stuff. So without going any further than that, Guildenstern's see how defensive you can be, and Rosencrantz see how just beside yourself you can be, with being sort of let down with what he led you into. Okay, let's start again from Hamlet's line. Gentlemen, you're welcome to Elsinore. Go ahead.
Gentlemen, you are welcome to Elsinore. Your hands, come then. The appurtenance of welcome is fashion and ceremony. Let me comply with you in this garb, lest my extent to the players, which I tell you must show fairly outwards, should more appear like entertainment than yours. You are welcome, but my uncle, father, and aunt mother are deceived.
In what, my lord?
I am but mad northwest. When the wind is southerly, I know a hawk from a handsaw.
Yes?
What?
I thought you...
No. I think we can say we made some headway.
You think so?
I think we can say that.
I think we could say he made us look ridiculous.
We played it close to the chest, of course.
Question and answer. Old ways or best ways. He was scoring off us all down the line.
He caught us on the wrong foot once or twice, perhaps, but I thought we gained some ground.
He murdered us.
He might have had the edge.
27, 3, and do you think he might have had the edge? He murdered us.
Oh, what about our evasions?
Oh, our evasions were lovely. Were you sent for, he says. My lord, we were sent for. I didn't know where to put myself.
He had 6 rhetoricals.
It was question and answer, all right. 27 questions he got out in 10 minutes and answered 3. I was waiting for you to delve. When is he going to start delving? I asked myself.
And 2 repetitions.
Hardly leading questions between us.
We got his symptoms, didn't we?
Half of what he said meant something else, and the other half didn't mean anything at all.
Thwarted ambition, a sense of grievance. That's my diagnosis.
6 rhetorical and 2 repetition, leaving 19, of which we answered 15. And what do we get in return? He's depressed. Denmark's a prison and he'd rather live in a nutshell? Some shadow play about the nature of ambition, which never got down to cases. And finally, one direct question, which might have led somewhere, and led, in fact, to an illuminating claim that he could claim to tell a hawk from a handsaw.
When the wind is southerly.
And the weather's clear.
And when it isn't, he can't.
He's at the mercy of the elements. Is that southerly?
Hang on. I'm sorry. I was trying to stop y'all. Let's stop it with go to the he's at the mercy of the elements. We're going to stop. I have like 3 minutes, but I think we've made a really interesting start on it, and I am looking forward to hearing other people's takes on the same stuff we've gone over. Anybody have anything they want to say quick before we go?
I just want to say 27-3 is the score, 27-3. He won.
Yeah, that's right. And then he goes through the nature of the actual questions. Well, some of them were rhetorical. Some of them, yeah.
I just want to say, I think it's nice that in the Stoppard piece, there's actually a little bit more development of the character, the differences between the 2 characters, which can inform what happens in the Hamlet piece.
100%. That's what I was going to say. I found it very interesting. And I also noticed something in the previous scene, that one where you noted, Dan, that Guildenstern starts it and then Rosencrantz sort of finishes it. And I think there's some character thing going on there. I think Guildenstern perhaps gives up in the middle of the scene. It's like, I can't fucking deal with this guy. And then
he's going to keep score.
Yeah. And then Rosencrantz comes in and goes at it a slightly different way. So I think we can let these things inform each other. Who is it that says you love? Who is it that says you're going to go to prison? And the other guy says, you loved me once. Let me help you out, right? Those are 2 different approaches. Very good.
I want you to know that you guys were hilarious. I was just giggling the whole time.
Yeah, I was too.
Very fun.
I was muted. Look at them both. I don't know who's gonna. Maybe I'll decide during the week, but someone else will be doing Hamlet, and we'll switch them around. But don't worry, we have 3 whole sessions to go, so everybody will get several cracks at this.
Cool.
And I am going to leave it there. 6 o'clock. Nathan, you got a closing remark for us?
Yeah, but no, it was wonderful, and it really, even knowing that we'll look at both texts, it doesn't really hit you until you're hearing and listening and watching the scene from Shakespeare's play and then the Stoppard play right afterward, that it's just like both inform the other, as you guys were just talking about. And it's just really, really fun. I know a lot of theaters have done these 2 plays in rep, which I've always thought would be a great treat for audiences to see the same actors playing the same characters in those plays. And there's also that Lee Blessing play, Fortinbras, which I thought could be like another triple, where it's just like if you could do all 3 plays in rep, I think, and they all have just such different styles. But I think it'd be a lot of fun for audiences to kind of get a whole complete picture of these characters. But this was wonderful. I want to encourage those people who've been checking this out, come on back for week 2. We're going to keep getting deeper, and as mentioned, you'll see different actors playing different stuff. It's almost like we're doing a mini double casting, so to speak, that we get to see different actors play the same characters, and just get to see what a different personality brings to it, and all that. So it's really great. This is wonderful. Thank you guys all for a great first week here.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
See you next Thursday at an hour later for.
Yes, yeah.
So Nick,
That's
At
okay.
the, at the normal time, yeah.
I will see you in 2 weeks. I'm missing next Thursday for
That's
the
right.
holiday of Shavuot. But if questions arise during the time, email me and I'll be happy to try to respond in email.
okay.
Thanks,
Great.
everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
All
See you
right.
next week.
Take care, everybody.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys.
Thanks, Nick.